Good morning, good midday morning. Pastor Will here. Thought I'd come out on the deck and give you some words of inspiration. Sometimes I just love to be under the heavens and listening to the birds sing and what a beautiful life. You know, a lot of times the enemy can get us to focus on all of the negative things and we forget about the beauty of God. You know, my talk today for your words of inspiration comes from Psalm 66:12. And it starts out by saying, "Thou hast caused men to ride over our heads." And we've been through the fire and through the water, but thou bringest us out into a wealthy place. And, think about how many of us focus on the men riding over our heads, that is being trampled on, or the fire, which I'm going to talk about tomorrow, or the water, which we're going to talk about on next week. But we focus on the negative and we forget about the positive. So I thought I'd just come out, look at this, all my trees, and y'all can't see back there, but I planted some trees about 5 or 6 years ago, and to create kind of a separation from my neighbors, and they've all grown up. They're full. The grass is green. The leaves are green. And it just speaks to the goodness of Jesus, and that he has a plan for our lives. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know that I have some plans for you. I got plans for your life, baby. This is God said, I got some plans for you. They are plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a future and a hope. And yes, right now, it may feel like men are riding over your heads. You're going through fire that's burning you up. You're going through water that feel like it's drowning you. But God says, goodness and mercy is going to follow you all the days of your life. This morning, I shared with the saints, I said, I want you to hashtag the phrase, grace and mercy, grace and mercy. I said, let me tell you why I want you to hashtag the phrase grace and mercy. Grace gives you things that you don't deserve, and mercy holds back stuff that you do deserve. Grace is unmerited favor. I don't deserve this, but yet God gave it to me. And mercy keeps what I do deserve. The Bible says the wages of sin is death. Baby, I ain't dead. I'm still alive. God said I shall live and not die and declare the works of the Lord. But sometimes in order to get to these wealthy places, we got to get through these troubled places. And the troubled place of people can be a tough thing. Troubled marriage, a troubled ministry, a troubled workplace, a troubled in-laws, troubled family members, troubled children. Am I talking to anybody right now? These troubled places, we got to get through them so we can get to the wealthy place. You can't get there until you get through here. And so that first place of troubled people, sometimes it feels like I'm troubled on every side, but not distressed. I am perplexed, that is confused, but I'm not in despair. To be in despair means to have no hope. Baby, we always have hope. Baby, as long as I'm breathing, as long as there's breath in my body, I am not in despair. I don't like what I'm going through. I don't like feeling confined. The Bible said God brought us into the net. The net represents a form of captivity when you feel like everything is crushing in on you. It's like that fish who's swimming free and all of a sudden the net grabs him and you find yourself in that place. But baby, even though I may be in it, I'm not going to stay in it. This is not my end. This is not my destiny. It may be my purpose right now. And although God's got me in it, he's going to bring me through it. The Bible says God caused men to ride over our heads. So ain't no use to me trying to run from it. Just go through it, because there must be a purpose behind it. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. I believe David said it was good for me that I was afflicted. Now, I know that sounds like an oxymoron. What do you mean, Pastor, good for me that I was afflicted? Nobody likes affliction. I didn't say it was likes for me that I was afflicted. I said it was good for me that I was afflicted. See, I don't like it at all. If it was my choice, I never would have taken it. Girl, I've been through some stuff. Sir, I've been through some mess that I wouldn't wish on anybody. But you know what? This ain't my end. As a matter of fact, on Friday morning, I got a testimony that's going to bless a lot of people. Because, see, a lot of times your test, not a lot of times, every time, your test becomes your testimony so that you can tell of God's goodness. And I got a testimony. Join me Friday morning for Good News Friday. I got a testimony, but I digress. Let me get back into this, men riding over our heads. So anybody that's in a bad situation, in a struggle situation, don't listen to these internet prophets who tell you to get rid of everybody in your life who's not celebrating you and who's not elevating you, because sometimes, people who God placed in your life will try you. They will test you. And it is not up to you to get rid of them. You don't get rid of your husband or your wife. You don't get rid of your son or your daughter. You don't get rid of your mother or your father, your sister or your brother. You don't quit your job when God has not given you another job. You don't leave your church because you don't like what the pastor said or what people are doing. No, you stay where God has planted you. You give God praise and you allow the people to ride over your heads until God brings you to that wealthy place. And he's going to do it. And he's going to do it. And so what you do is you operate in grace and mercy. You operate in that place where, sometimes God does take me through the valley of the shadow of death. He does put me in the presence of my enemies. And he told me, and listen to this, he prepares a table. That means that if God is putting a table there, he wants me to sit down and shut up. If he's putting a table in front of me, he wants me to just take a licking and keep on ticking. And so, because ultimately we do win. Ultimately, God will take me to that wealthy place. But right now, I got to get through this troubled place of people. And when I do, I know this: goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the presence of the Lord. I will dwell in that space. So y'all, you may be in a troubled place, but that's all right. God is going to give you the power and the strength to get through the troubled place of people so you can get to the wealthy place. My time is up, but remember this. Before I go there, don't forget to follow me. This is what we call 5 Minutes of Inspiration by Pastor Will. I call it 5 Minutes to Live By. I am on all your major podcast platforms. Please go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, whatever, and look for Pastor Will, 5 Minutes to Live By. Now, and remember, don't just live life, live a victorious life. And